There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
What's going on, guys? And thanks for tuning in to another CMA 12-Volt Insider presented by SiriusXM. And of course, we are live here from Knowledgefest in Las Vegas at the Paris Convention Center for Knowledgefest, of course. And well, I'm going to open the show today because it's been a heck of a show. And this guy here has been instrumental in really supporting their entire networks from Vox Electronics, Mr. Jonathan Frank. How you doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing, man.
Good. It's been a show, man. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. As you know, this was my first trip to Knowledgefest. It's been a minute since I've been on a flight, but so happy to be here, meet you in person, meet everybody else in person. But is it me, or has there been a vibe this weekend?
There's definitely been a vibe. It's been surprisingly great. You know, it's hard to get the words up because you come in and you don't expect too much. Still at the tail end of COVID, people now getting out there again. But the dealers are out in full force. You know, they're happy to be here.
They are.
They're inquisitive. You know, it's like the first time they've traveled in a few years.
I have a feeling what we're seeing is a lot of dealers who have made the commitment to come to this show that probably haven't been out to shows in the last two years, maybe.
Yeah.
And they're excited. They're motivated. Like you say, they're walking into the booth. They're talking to the vendors. Real quick, we're going to talk about Vox real quick. You guys are right in the middle of the showroom floor. You've got all the vice presidents here. All the guys are here. So, like, how important is it to touch base with these dealers that you haven't seen in so long?
Oh, it's extremely important. I mean, this is why we do what we do, right? And they are why we do what we do. So we have to be out talking to them, make sure they're okay, make sure they have everything they need to be successful. And the more we talk face to face, the better it is, because we can adapt to what helps them be profitable.
Being one of the biggest brands in the industry, obviously, it's always interesting to see what you're going to show in your booth. Obviously, you have to cover a lot of brands, right? You do everything from mobile video. Now you've got stuff like power. You've got, obviously anything security and telematics and remote start. All these brands being represented, but you also have SiriusXM in your booth as well.
We do. We've had a long-standing partnership with SiriusXM. I mean, it goes back probably at least 20 years. So it's always great to have them in there. So
is it okay is it fun to have Sirius but not Paul, or you just have to deal with the fact that Paul comes with that package?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
We swallowed that pill a long time ago.
No kidding. So, about training, not a whole lot of training in this particular one, maybe a little off season for some of your big brands. What are you doing for
Yeah, so yesterday we had a training in security. Chris Lombardi, director of training for...
Like the entire team is here.
Yeah.
Chris, like everybody's here.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So he had one yesterday. He's got another one today.
Okay.
So he'll be out there, and, it's just going to be awesome.
Very good. Biggest takeaway for the show for you?
For me, it looks like the industry is coming back in full force, which is good to see. COVID really hit a lot of the smaller guys hard. The ones that did survive, it's great to come back out and really start making that profit again and then building a business.
Yeah, and part of that business is connecting with other retailers, connecting with their manufacturers, getting those trainings done, just keeping up to speed, moving forward. And I think if this is any barometer to 2023, I think we're in good shape. So I'm happy to report that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't want any of these guys going out of business. They're the bread and butter.
Exactly.
And you want to help them be successful.
Fantastic. Jonathan Frank from Vox Electronics. Thanks for stopping by, John.
You got it, man.
Take care. Let's keep the ball rolling here. We got a lineup of guests yesterday. Walked around and say, who did I miss so far? We'll see you over at the booth.
You got it.
All right. Let's get our next guest. Come on down. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Obviously, this is our final day of coverage from Knowledgefest in Las Vegas. I'm going to try to jam in as many peeps as possible because so many new things are happening here. We've got Mr. Fred Lynch, Arc Audio. Have a seat, Mr. Fred. So it didn't start maybe on the best foot your drive over here, did it? You were a little grumpy when I saw you the other day.
Well, you know, if California put all their taxpayer dollars into the roads for what we pay for, then this would be a much better situation. But all those lovely potholes,
You hit a pothole, huh?
I hit a big pothole.
And that's a big set of rims you got on that Flex.
Yeah.
And they look pretty high end. If I'm not mistaken, they have the word Foos on the hubcap. Yeah.
Yeah, those are one-offs. They were one-offs for
Multi-piece
that,
one-offs, no
Yeah,
less.
3-piece. Yeah.
Well,
But on the good side, you
Mhm.
didn't we didn't damage the whole rim. We just damaged the hoops. And
Oh,
the hoops
fair
can be
enough.
replaced. So
do you know people that can help you out?
I might have a friend or two. For
Very
that.
good. Very good. All right, let's talk Knowledge Fest here. Arc Audio here in a big way. You obviously are making reference to the Flex, this Flex that has gone under some surgery and gone under different, renditions, I'll say.
Yep.
Evolving with the tech, evolving with new products, such as the new amplifiers. I know we're going to touch on real quick. So, first of all, overall impressions of the show. A couple days now, we had people come through.
I mean, it's we had day one yesterday, which
And
is good.
yeah.
I mean, we got the beer and business. We have a lot of people that came through. A lot of people walking in, demoing cars, talking about product, wanting to find out more. We had a lot of people coming in.
There's a lot of dealers, man. The dealers are motivated.
Friday's
Absolutely.
always great. Saturday, I mean, I had a chance to walk through a lot of the classrooms. We're not doing any on-site trainings because we're doing everything in our booth in the vehicles
Nice.
this year.
By the way, I'm coming by to listen to that vehicle.
I know.
Okay, I just
And
didn't want to bother you with all your
no,
dealers
no,
around.
No, you're more than welcome.
I
More than
will.
welcome
I'm just trying to
anytime.
pick my spot.
But I would say the classrooms were full. It was nice, and as long as that transitions on, this is going to be a great day.
Well, let's talk about Arc Audio. What's going on in the booth? Where are dealers, huddling in, and obviously see your car. I think that's going to be number one. But product wise.
Well, I mean, we kind of let a little bit of a cat out of the bag on one of the CMAs with the upcoming very very soon release of the PSM Pro. So that's our little
Itty bitty. That's
our
the itty bitty
little
DSP.
one. We have it in our booth. We have it in a motorcycle, and we're showing people what it's all about, all the technology and everything with it, and how it's literally almost a full size PS8 Pro, but in that small compact little chassis, minus a few things, channel input configurations. But
so because you're not here, and I'm going to make you feel like crap that you're not. You go to the Arc booth, so you have Fred's Full Flex, and then you have a motorcycle. So he's referring to, if you want to go back and check the episode that we did, tiny. I mean, usually in this application on a bike, but it could go on a side-by-side. It could go even in a small car build. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're space constricted, very capable, brand new version of this micro DSP unit, a standalone.
Yeah, I mean, you buy everything fit for application, but whether it's motorcycle or even if you need a DSP to go up on top of a radio and a dashboard or concealed in the dashboard, maybe you have an exotic vehicle that you don't have this, the footprint for a bigger amplifier, or maybe you just don't want it being seen. So, but the best part is especially with the PSM Pro, we also have iData Maestro integration in it too, so you can run the Maestro
even
AR,
on that piece?
Even on that piece. So all of our DSPs right now, the PS8 Pro, the Blackbird, all the Arc series amplifiers with the IPS 8.8, now the PSM Pro, it's all iData compatible, so you can do plug and play OEM solutions for a lot of vehicles, including the Harley Davidson
seamless
motorcycles.
Integration with Arc Audio products and ADS.
Absolutely.
So on that, you mentioned the new amplifier, which we will see showcased and functioning, and you can hear in your Flex.
That's correct.
Tell us real quick, what did you do different for those that don't know?
So the Blackbird is a revised version of the PS850. The PS850 was our small 8-channel amplifier. People said they wanted more channels, more processing power, so we took all the power of the PS8 Pro, dropped it in the same size chassis, gave people more than double the power out of that amplifier. It's also bridgeable down. You can get an obscene amount of power out of it. And once again, iData Maestro compatibility, additional RCA outputs, and it's full DSP control. So it's actually a 12 by 12 DSP in there. So you actually have 12 channels of output. You also have your 8 channels of analog input. You also have digital coaxial input. There's also Bluetooth digital input on it. You could also use the BTM input with iData OEM digital for the AR compatibility. So you can actually use the AR digital platforms like you see on the Hyundais, as well as also, as they showcased here this week, the A to B platform that's all digital over copper. We're already equipped for all their digital over copper solutions for all these vehicles. And
funny thing about that.
What do I think about that?
Funny thing about that you're already compatible. Imagine that. It's when you're working partnerships with great technology partners.
Absolutely.
That's what happens.
And then of course, we had to step it up. Last year we were here with a system with 2 AR modules in it.
Yes.
And then we heard somebody else was trying to match it up, so we said, okay, fine, let's go to 3. So we actually have 3 AR modules with 3 DSPs all in one vehicle.
And I have to say, it's actually functioning. It's not just on paper. Because I gotta tell you, Fred's pretty darn good on his PowerPoints and the whole routing and everything. But I can't wait to come hear it and see the benefits of it. I mean, these amps, now that I see them in person, right? It's the first time seeing them in person. They're tiny. They're like this big, and it's got that much power in it. I thought they were bigger.
Well, and you thought I was crazy when I showed you the
No, I still
system
think you're
diagram.
crazy. I still think you're crazy.
You know the second part
Yeah.
with the Nighthawks that we're coming out with?
Yeah.
We're still going to put 3 of those.
Of
in
course
there
you
too.
are. I don't know where, by the way, because it's pretty tight already. All the
We
gear.
could put 3. We could put 3 Nighthawks in there
All
and
right.
still put.
I might have to
panel
snap a
over it,
pic of that and put that up on Facebook and see what that's all
Well,
about.
that was definitely a hold my beer moment, and
It
why?
was.
Because we can.
Yeah, why not? All right, yeah, fair enough. All right, well, that's it. I'm excited to come by, listen to the car. I want to check out how that DSP performs on that bike. And yeah, thanks for coming by.
Definitely.
Good seeing you in person.
And then
man.
we'll have to see you again also up in Toronto.
Man, we're
too.
gonna be seeing all spring. And yes, he's coming to Toronto. That's exciting.
We're driving out to Toronto. We're bringing the flex.
Oh, please don't drive those wheels.
I'm driving them.
Oh, you're crazy. We'll talk to you later.
All
Take
right,
care.
thanks.
All right, that was Fred Lynch from Arc Audio. I'm gonna go quickly to my next guest, who's right here. Come on over, man. Get in here. Get in here. We're doing this is like speed dating. Chris Beulah, representing Sony. He's the intergalactic official trainer for Sony. Karate. What's going on, Chris?
That's the first time we called that.
I figured.
That's awesome.
It's intergalactic.
It's pretty cool.
Global's not big enough for you.
That's right.
I gotta go intergalactic. Right?
Yep, that's
All right.
cool.
So Sony, man. Sony's been a big deal for a long time, but this last what can I say? This last 2 years have been kind of like elevated. You hear about it?
Elevated. I saw where
Elevated.
you're going with
It's
that,
been
right?
elevated. Let's just get straight into it. You guys are right at the front of the show. Nice clean booth. I noticed a new display. We can talk about that. But what's in your booth? Let's talk about that first. So these are people who aren't here.
So yeah, so this is pretty awesome. We've got a couple demo cars. These are our account manager cars. So Jason Hill's Lexus that we've got, fully equipped with the Mobile ES product, is in the front of the booth.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Jared Volley, who's based out of Phoenix, Arizona, one of our account managers there. He's got his Toyota Tacoma, which it's got the Outlander rigging and all that
Yes,
stuff.
that's kind of been a theme
It's
here.
pretty
A lot of
awesome. Yeah,
Outlander
he's
stuff.
had that for a while, but we always kind of joke that he's off camping instead of working. But it's pretty awesome. It's a good looking truck. It sounds great. So, and then at the rear of the booth, we've got 2 new displays. One is our, of course, trade show display, which Jody Culverson of 5 Axis helped us out with. It looks beautiful. But then we're also debuting our retailer display, which Mobile ES Gold dealers can get reimbursed for, and Mobile ES Gray dealers can get a hold of. They got to pay for it, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
But it's a mint display.
It's pretty awesome looking. Yeah,
it is a mint display.
It's simple. It's small, so you can kind of put it in any kind of short shop floor mat or anything like that. It's got all the pertinent equipment to be able to sell all of the Mobile ES products off of. So it's actually a great combo.
All right, so that's the kind of the layout of what's going on in the booth. Of course, I'm going to come by and I'm going to listen to this stuff because finally I get a chance to listen.
I came over here. You got to go.
I'm going to go over there. I just, I didn't want to go there when the dealers are there because that's dealer time.
Sure,
I'm going to sneak in. Besides, I expect a personal demo.
Of course, no problem.
Like I need to see.
We'll take care of that.
The whole thing. All right, so let's just recap. I remember we talked about when. Actually, we've spoken at every point during every launch of every product so far.
We have, yeah.
The most recent launch is probably going to be the amplifiers, correct?
So the amps are already out, so those are good. Yeah, so we're showing those off here at the show. In fact, both demo vehicles are equipped with those. They're both on the displays as well, so you get to actually touch and feel with them and all that cool stuff. I've got a couple trainings here at the show.
Yeah, let's talk about the trainings. What are you training?
So the trainings are awesome. We do 2 different types of trainings here. We do the core line, which is our AX4 and 6000, which were introduced a little while back, and all the technology that kind of goes into that platform. And then I've also got a Mobile ES training, so we cover the 9500 head unit.
Is that separate from core?
So yeah, 2 different trainings. Yeah, so the Mobile ES training is separate, and we do 2 of each, so we kind of cover the time for everybody, just in case there's a conflict or something else. But the Mobile ES one goes over the 9500, the amps, the speakers, the subs.
9500. What's that?
Yeah, you've never heard of that one, right?
No.
So yeah,
never heard of that one.
Fanboy.
Yeah, no, it's hard to not talk about the 9500.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. What's some of the feedback you've heard from dealers? Some you haven't seen in a while, maybe?
Oh man, I mean, I gotta be honest. I've been running around so much, I haven't had a lot of time to talk to dealers here at the show. But the feedback from Mobile ES has been astounding. These guys love the product. They love the design of the product that makes it kind of more installable. It's easier to install. We've thought about that installation process with those products,
and they appreciate that.
They can tell. Like you can tell when somebody took the time to think about how is this going to be put into a car, right? So they love that. The sound quality is obviously amazing. And then our core products too. We're finally back in the game with wireless CarPlay and Android Auto and Maestro. So those are two big kind of sets of features that
with two units.
Yeah, with two different units. We just didn't have those features for a while, and we kind of left the retailers hanging. But we're back, and I mean we're swinging hard for the fences with those, and the dealers love them. So
that's the thing. I speak to different dealers, and those that are Sony dealers. I mean, they're Sony dealers.
Yeah,
they really they bought into the program. They support it 100%. Now, can I give you some feedback?
Of course.
I finally seen this product in person. I went over there and I did a little touchy-feely.
Right.
I felt
you were that guy, huh?
Yes. If I was the weirdo that
you were the
guy
in the booth rubbing the product.
There's this Asian dude.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, that was me. But what am I after? I want to see what you've been talking about. I want to feel the cone materials, the surrounds, all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
It's legit. It's exactly as you described it. When you look at that, I'm going to be picking right on the Mobile ES product in specific because it looks really legit and high end. And I wasn't able to say that because I've only seen it in videos and seen it in pictures.
Yeah.
But now that I'm telling you, the crowd, this stuff is legit. If you thought about maybe getting into that Sony Mobile ES space, I understand there's a commitment involved.
There is, yeah.
It's
pretty minimal, but yeah. For sure.
But check it out. Get a hold of your rep. Tell them to bring it to you. Hopefully they have a demo vehicle, which I imagine most do.
Yep.
It is legit. Chris, we got the awards. Sony's actually presenting something pretty cool. I want to give a shout out while you're here. During the awards, Sony's actually sponsored some live music, which I think is just perfect.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, that's what we're all about, right? It's the old Sony tagline was for music lovers by music lovers, right? And that, although we've moved on with marketing taglines since then, it kind of still holds true with our brand, right? So we do love music. We love people who love music, and we want to provide music for them, right? So that's a great way to do it.
Very, very cool. I look forward to seeing you there. I'm going to come over and bug you for the cars. And, bro, keep on doing your intergalactic training job.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate the time. See you guys.
Chris Vila from Sony. Let's keep the party rolling. Get on over here, sir. This guy's got a lot to talk about. I mean, I cannot wait to get to his booth because he's got some sick whips up in there. Jacob Brown, Director of Operations, HKI, representing Ground Zero, Sound Digital. What's going on, sir?
Howdy, sir.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Oh, gosh. So I seen you guys setting up the other day. It's like, what is this monstrosity of a booth that's going on? Like, I didn't know HKI rolled this hard at shows.
What we do now.
Damn right you do.
This booth is all new for us, and that's pretty cool. I mean, we decided, as the brand HKI, to try and find a way to properly represent the key brands that we work with. So when you look at things like Sound Digital, Ground Zero, Turi, the HKI brands, we wanted to figure out a way to work together with those to really do something different. That's why this booth is what it is. So we've got quadrants now for each of our brands, so you get kind of more of that personal, tailored. I'm talking about Sound Digital. I'm talking about Ground Zero.
Yes.
Lumped in with everything else.
Absolutely. So I'm going to try to describe this to you all listening in because you guys obviously aren't here, but it's right at the entrance of the booth. And why I say it's so epic. There's 4 vehicles.
There are 3 vehicles.
3 vehicles
and 2 bikes.
And 2 bikes. There's a lot of vehicles. I don't even know how you're sound demoing this stuff. But anyhow, when that gray bike rolled in, it stopped the showroom.
Yes.
Everybody, I don't care what brand, stopped because Andy plugged it in just to make sure it worked. The bass coming out of a motorcycle, I could not believe. What's in there?
The full build is 2 pairs of our brand new 8-inch compression loaded horn driver coax, a set of 8-inch mid-range drivers, a set of 2 pairs of our 20-in compression driver tweeter, 2 8-inch mid-bass drivers, and 2 of our full-size hydrogen 12s.
I can't believe that much stuff can fit on a bike.
Oh, and that's not to mention the fact that there is probably, on paper, give or take 10,000 watts of power.
Plus batteries, plus DSP.
Plus batteries, plus DSP.
Absolutely gross. Like,
and
honestly,
you can't really see any of it.
I kind of knew how crazy the bike scene was. Like, we had Andy on the show, and I see that, I get it. But until you experience this level of build on a vehicle or platform such as that, you have no idea. And why that's so inspiring is if you can build that type of vehicle in your show space to show your customers, I mean, you have to.
Oh, yeah. It's
It
absolutely.
will blow people's minds. It will literally blow people's minds. Okay. Let's break this conversation down. Let's start with Sound Digital. Sound Digital obviously is a staple in power sports, in even marine now, right? And motorcycle. And that continues to be the case, correct?
It continues to be the case, but let's keep in mind it's a car audio company. So
I sometimes forget that.
I know.
I sometimes forget that because I just see so much application of it in what I just mentioned.
Well, and the reason you see the application of it is because of small footprint. When you have small form factor and you can fit all kinds of everything into a fairing or into a small hidden area in a boat, you really don't have a lot of those issues. So yes, we have seen the adaptation into the power sports market, but it's still true and through and through a car audio
company first.
I mean, you're not dropping a 20,000 watt RMS amplifier into a motorcycle.
Are you?
You're putting it in cars.
Of
You're
course.
competing in SPL.
Fair enough.
You're doing all the fun stuff that goes along with that.
Fair
So
enough.
that's
all right.
it's still car audio.
But Ground Zero is kind of buzzing. Okay, Ground Zero is buzzing for a couple different reasons. Car audio, Pro SQ, like you were talking about. Like I love talking Pro SQ because that's like I don't know if I talk about Pro SQ with anybody else, to be honest with you, but I love diving into that. Tell us about these vehicles and how they're set up and why you chose these type of vehicles to show off the product at the show.
So two of the Ground Zero vehicles that we have in booth are a Audi Q5 with a it's a wonderfully fabricated, beautiful SQ car. But the cool thing about it, we did our Slim 10 in the cargo area under a false floor with the amp racks. So the vehicle is still completely functional. And then a 3-way active front end build for 6.5, 3, and tweet in our uranium line. And it's a phenomenal sounding car with very minimal tuning done to it. And when you're
practical from a space perspective.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And the gear that's in that car is something that you could do not necessarily with the aspect of custom fabrication. Mm-hmm. It just helps that it happens to be Doug Dobson's personal vehicle.
Oh, that
right.
Also. Doug Dobson being, HKI staff, of course.
And of car audio fame and fortune.
That too.
So, obviously it is fabricated, it is beautiful, it is lovely, but you get into it and you experience something that's very different. And then you start to think, wait, this is only $1,000 retail pair of speakers.
Oh, okay.
Well, $1,000 US retail pair of speakers. So it kind of changes what a lot of, this mindset of it's got to be expensive to sound really good. Flip side of that coin, we go from SQ to not Pro SQ, but more of a daily driver ground pounder style build with Rob Riley's Volkswagen R32.
The R32. I was looking at that.
So he's got a Mark IV R32 with a 3-way nuclear build active in the front. It's our new nuclear series, Kevlar cones. We're one of the nice upgrades. It's a super damped mid-bass driver. I mean, the driver itself does not resonate. It is absolutely incredible and fun to play with. The mid-range is phenomenal, well-blending mid-range. The tweeter is an absolutely beautiful 28mm silk dome. But that is more of a daily driver style build. So that paired with a nuclear 15 SPL in a big old vented
in a hatchback.
In a hatchback. In a vented enclosure on 5,000 watts of power, it hammers. But it can go from jazz and rock and
we're going to see that.
We're
going to see that.
Yeah.
I'm going to report back on this. All the stuff that he's talking that's coming out of this guy's mouth, I'm going to check out for real, and I'll give you the score. I'll give you the score myself.
Because you have to.
All right. What's the other vehicle? That's 2.
So we've got also another Arizona Jeep, also owned by one Mr. Doug Dobson.
How many whips does he have?
I think there's a stable.
Okay, a stable.
I want to say there's at least a handful of Jeeps.
And what's the build in that one?
That one's cool because that one is essentially a motorcycle build.
Oh,
it's a power sports build.
Okay.
In a Jeep. So it's all Sound Digital Evo PS amplification. It is all Ground Zero competition products. Mm-hmm. So it's coaxial. It's our red basket 6.5.
Oh, the red baskets. Yes. They're loud.
They're loud.
Mm-hmm.
It's the GZCT 25M SPL tweeter up on the dash in the stock locations. It's GZC.
He built this to play top off.
Oh, it is top off.
Okay,
it is. I am wheeling. I am having a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, we've got it shown with a one of our Proline X boxes that we work with. It's not a Ground Zero product, but it is a phenomenal box manufacturer out of California that does some cool stuff that has custom tuned some enclosures for Ground Zero. So we're showing that off in that vehicle with 2 of our radioactive subs, and it's fun. That vehicle also demonstrates the Turi Pro window interface.
We didn't even talk about Turi.
I know.
Are you showing Turi in your booth as well?
We are. There is an entire Turi quadrant.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's showing off the window interfaces for the Jeep.
For those that don't know, what is Turi? Let me ask the question.
Turi is a driver interfacing and experience product. So throttle control systems, window control systems. There are some other things that we're now working on and playing with that will help you interface with your vehicle differently. So nothing audio related, but definitely bringing back some of the the mindset of I still want to enjoy my car. So, you know, some of the complaints that we have heard about Jeeps and things like that is, you know, the power window systems and those things just suck. Whether it's got to do with the ignition system or window timing. So Turi fixes a lot of that.
It overrides the factory system.
Correct.
It makes it programmable.
Yeah, it works with all of the OE equipment. It's plug and play or light modification or, you know, harness manufactured, but we supply all the parts if it needs work done like that. So it's a really cool product. The throttle control system.
I was just gonna say you carried the throttle control stuff too.
Correct. So the thing that I like about those is I don't necessarily focus on the performance aspect of it. I concern myself and talk about the safety and convenience factor of or portion of that. So throttle lockout from your phone, valet mode, so you can actually limit how much throttle the vehicle sees. So there's security features built into these too. So there's some cool stuff that Turi is doing. So that is on display, and that is why the Jeep is there. Is the Jeep market I think would really benefit, or we think would really benefit from.
I don't know why I feel it's weird that I'm talking with Jacob Brown about something that's not car audio, and yet he knows what he's talking about.
I just make it up.
This guy.
I just make it up.
All right, buddy. I'll tell you what. You better, when you see me come and get ready. I want the 1, 2, 3, 4 demo.
I've seen you walk past
I know,
the
but you
booth,
have
and
too many customers in
you
your
just
booth.
stare at me
There's
like I don't exist.
too many customers in your booth. I don't want to take up their space. I'm being respectful. So when I come, it's going to be...
It's your first time in the U.S. in like 4 years. You don't need to be respectful.
I know. It's all
You're
good.
Ben Wu.
Jacob, appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Awesome.
Have a great show. Good having you.
Stay out of trouble.
I will. Talk to you soon.
See you in a bit.
All right, that was Jacob Brown, Director of Operations from HKI, talking about Ground Zero. He's talking about Sound Digital and, of course, Turi. Let's bring on my next one who, man, he's been a busy little guy these last few weeks. Every time I call him, his head was under the dash somewhere. He's trying to figure out how to fix things, 3D printing parts. Andy Waymire from Audio Frog, welcome. What's going on, sir?
Cursing a lot, taking breaks.
Yep.
Smoking a lot.
Smoking a lot. Yep.
Smoking a lot of
Yep.
cigarettes.
I hear you. I hear you. But
vacuuming my driveway.
I'm sure. Okay, so
that's over mostly.
I've kind of set the stage, Andy. You've been busy working on something. I'll let you, talk about that a little bit. What have you been busy working on? What did you bring to the show? Oh, yes, that's you. You didn't freeze. Go ahead.
We've been working on a car, a little Volvo C30.
So this is not the Mercedes that everybody knows. This is
No,
a new
this
vehicle.
is a new one. This is a new one.
vehicle.
So the Mercedes is cool, but my son now works at Audio Frog, and he's a kind of a charismatic guy who likes to talk to people, and we're gonna send him out on the road with this car, and sending.
Was he involved in the build?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
One of the reasons to do this was so Jake would have Jake does not have 10 years under his belt as a car audio installer or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make sure that when he was out with the car, he knew what it was, and would be able to talk to techs about what we had done and all of that, and to give him some sense of ownership and whatever, and teach him a little bit about what it takes to make a car sound great. Not because he needs to be able to build cars, but he needs to be able to talk to people
At
who
least
build.
understands the process,
Yeah, so
or has
he-
witnessed and been a part of the process.
Yeah, so that he can talk to people who do this for a living and whatever else. And the Mercedes, of course, sending my kid out in a CLS with 150,000 miles on it is probably $150,000 in repairs, right? Because
you run that risk.
having a fuse replaced on the road in a Mercedes is like, well, that's a Mercedes, and them fuses is expensive, so it's going to be $1,200 to replace a dome line fuse.
Plus shipping.
So this does not seem like a good idea to me. Yeah. So we bought this little Volvo, and we've been building it for 6 months.
So
And
this
it's
is
cool.
that little for those of you who don't know, this is that little hatchback Volvo. It wasn't out for a long time. Very unique looking.
I think they built them from 2008 to like 2013 or something.
I seen the car. I seen you roll it. I couldn't, he was talking about how this was a wrecked car. He got it for a deal. Man, the car is mint.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
definitely mint.
It's cool. I had to learn to weld because we put the
Fair
front of
enough.
the car back together.
But it's mint. And I haven't had, I let everybody go sit in it. I'm going to come bug you about it. Let's talk about what is in this vehicle.
It is essentially the same system that's in the Mercedes. It's a full 7.1. We have some upmixing software that we are still working on getting into a commercial product. The last time I did a DSP at a huge company where there were literally, we went to have a party for all the people who had contributed to MS8 when I was at Harman, and I started making a list of people that I needed to invite, and it turned out to be like 145 people.
Everybody had their hands on it.
In like 6 countries, from people who wrote and translated the owner's manual to people who wrote code to people who did the industrial design and
marketing.
production engineering and marketing and whatever else. And fortunately, I had a big backyard. We invited all of these people,
Wow.
including senior managers and people whose last names were Harmon, and threw a party in the backyard. And the project manager, the guy that managed the project, I was the product manager. He was the project manager. He roasted a pig Argentine style in a spit in our backyard and whatever. But that took 8 years and like 140 people.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well, you don't have that on staff?
No.
Oh, I thought Auto Frog had like an army.
No, we're a tiny little company, so it's taken us a long time. There's an old mantra in product development, which is good, fast, and cheap. You can pick two. So good is out of the question. We're not going to, we're not going to negotiate on good.
No compromise there.
But billions of dollars for speedy product development we don't have, so that's why it's taking a long time. Anyway,
but
years ago we did a beta test for the software because we wanted to find out if people would be able, A, if people liked the way it sounded, B, if technicians could set it up if we sent out a bunch of beta boxes with the owner's manual. So I wrote an owner's manual. We put the software in an XMOS demo board.
Okay.
I built 5 of these things, 3D printed some parts and whatever. Built 5 of these things that looked like a kind of a retail product and sent them out to 5 dealers. So some of those guys have taken them out of their cars because they've sold those cars and they sent them back. So we had an extra one.
Okay.
So this is essentially the same system that's in the Mercedes. It's all active.
How many amps?
There are 5 4-channel amps and 2 1-channel amps.
Okay.
So the front doors are a 3-way system, active 3-way system, GB60, GB25, GB10.
All GB.
Yep. In the center channel, the center speaker is a GB10 and a GB60, so there's a 6-inch in the center.
6-inch
in the center. Yep.
Nice.
Which is one of the reasons I like those other cars, because they have a big grill from the factory. Of course, the car we bought did not have the center speaker option from the factory, so we R&R'd the dash, which is, it's like the steering wheel.
I gotta say, I want to stop you there. So I only had like a very brief moment, guys. I did not dissect this vehicle yet. I took a quick peek at the trunk when he rolled in, and he showed me a couple door panels. Andy, your 3D printing is pretty on point. Well, I would not have known some of those parts were 3D printed aftermarket parts.
Yeah, they're cool. I started out as a tech. I mean, I was the world's worst installer and was like what we say on the bubble of being fired for my first probably 3 years as a cardio installer in El Paso, Texas. That was before I went to work for Carbon. So I was an installer for 10 years. And back when
make no mistake, Andy himself, with his help with his son, did the whole install.
Yeah.
Fabricated whatever piece.
Yeah.
3D printed whatever piece, programmed, tuned, and drove the car here.
And had at least a hand in designing most of the products that are in the car.
Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the product yet. Yeah, that's just all.
So
yeah.
So sometimes we get, people say, "Oh, why are you putting an upmixer here if I can't buy an upmixer?" And the point
why are you putting an upmixer in a demo vehicle that I can't even buy?
Right, because this demo vehicle represents the best that we know how to do. Right, that's what this is. And eventually we'll have this piece of software that people can buy. It'll be really cool because it makes the driver's seat sound great, bigger than the car, and
it's in progress, people.
Yeah,
it's in progress.
And it does the same thing in the passenger seat.
I think you built this to really showcase the amplifiers, Andy.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are a lot of those in there. There's 20-something channels of amplifiers.
Yep, which doesn't take up that much space. Right. Okay, I gotta talk about that. When we did our show together, he brought in the amp. He's like, "Oh, look at this, Ben. You can fit in your pocket into the phone." Let me tell you, I've seen the amps in person. They are tiny. There are 7 of these amplifiers that take up like this much space. I don't even know. It's like this much space fits all the amps, all of them. Like I remember owning one amplifier that was the same footprint.
Right. Yeah, it's like 42. It's like 4,200 watts in about 3/4 of a cubic foot.
Awesome. Very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
It sounds great. And
what do you want people to hear, respond, feel when they hear this car? What has the feedback been so far?
The feedback is always very similar. I mean, there are not a lot of cars that do what this car does. This car sounds great. Some of the SQ people are kind of confused by it because it doesn't sound exactly like, an IASCA style
like,
SQ
did you
car.
build it that way? No,
it's not an IASCA car. So this is we do a lot of demos. The response to the demo is usually, wow, that's really cool. It sounds a little different. It's bigger than the car. It has rear speakers, has a lot of rear speakers. The bass is in the front. It does all of the things that most of the competition organizations want to see in a competition car, but it does in both seats. So you can instead of chasing the person who's going to get the demo out to the car and making sure that they don't accidentally get in the passenger seat, both of the seats sound great. center image is in the center, base is in the front. It's cool. You don't have to use any time alignment or time delay to make all this work. Basically, we want to showcase a car that sounds like what customers want to hear.
Well, I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, you should come over.
I'm definitely coming over. I just don't want to rush it. I don't want to take away from your dealer time, obviously. But I'm very excited to hear the car. So thank you for coming on and telling us about it.
That's it? I don't get to tell any more stories?
That's it. We're gonna have to save it for next time. I'm gonna see you at every other show.
Because you got to get somebody else on here to talk about some more.
Yeah, there's other stuff.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Andy. Take care.
Thanks, Ben.
Ongoing coverage here from Las Vegas. Yes, that's
Ben.
me.
That's Ben.
That's
Wu.
me. That's me.
There's only one.
There's
Ben
only
Wu.
one. There doesn't need to be more, to be honest with you. Ongoing coverage here from Knowledgefest. Ongoing coverage from Knowledgefest. Come on in.
Ben Wu.
We got two more guests. How's it going, sir?
What's up, man? How are
Welcome
you?
to the show.
Yeah,
What is your name?
it's Rudy, and I'm with Snap Finance.
All right, Rudy. This is the last minute edition. I see you coming by. We grabbed you because we wanted an opportunity for Snap Finance to speak to the audience out there. Snap Finance is a big partner with Knowledgefest here at the show, but more specifically, sponsoring, supporting the Emmy Awards going down on Sunday night. You guys are the presenting sponsor of the award. First of all, why is Snap Finance interested in our industry?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think what it really comes back to is that these customers wanting financing, they're going into the stores, and we're seeing them all the time. And this is something that we've been able to capitalize just in the space with MEA specifically. Because if they're not offering it, the guy down the road is.
That's right.
Yeah, so and it's one of those things that we can.
Let's define that. So
Yeah.
Some may know what you're talking about. Let's back up a little bit.
For sure.
What exactly is Snap Finance in your name? But let's break it down from a dealer's perspective, because that's who we're speaking to.
Yeah.
What are you offering as a service or a product?
Yeah, very high level. What we offer is financing options for the customers that are coming into the stores. So we want to unlock financial possibilities for everybody.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm a store. I want to be able to offer Mr. or Mrs. Customer different options, whether it's payments
Yes.
options,
Yes.
or other. I don't even know what the spectrum of menu could be in that. But
Yeah.
what about people with maybe not the best credit? Okay credit, but not the best credit, maybe.
So we approve. We tackle literally everybody, but our bread and butter is subprime. I don't know if you're familiar.
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep, subprime lending, but then we offer approvals for literally everybody.
So how turnkey is that, from a dealer perspective, when it comes to the actual, dealing with my customer, the end user, and from presenting them these options to
For sure.
making it happen?
Yeah, really good question, because there's two different ways that you could go about it. Through MEA's website, they actually have a drop down that you can select Snap Finance, and it gives you all the instructions on how to sign up. Or we could go into the store, and all we really need is EIN business. You need a brick and mortar location.
It has to be brick and mortar.
Yeah,
Okay.
brick and mortar, and then have an EIN, and then we're good to go.
And Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, Bob's your
Bob's
uncle,
your
man.
uncle.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Obviously a great option. Obviously, every single dealer walking these hallways during Knowledgefest is a potential partner for you.
Yeah.
Is there any special offers for them going on?
Yeah, through MEA. So if you're an MEA member, you get 0% merchant discount. What that means is, if I or somebody else on the staff was to walk into one of the dealer stores, sign you up, typically they pay about 4%. If you're an MEA member and then you partner with us, then it's 0%. So
0%.
Zero.
I would say that is incentive.
100%.
100% incentive.
Yep.
All right.
So-
Stop. If you're here, you want to pass by, hit up Rudy. They're here to answer your questions. They are a huge part of our MEA Awards going down Sunday night. And we want to thank you for that.
For sure.
Thank you for stopping
Appreciate
by.
it.
Take
Yeah,
care.
Thank you.
I got one more guest who's late, so I'm going to drill him harder than I normally do. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll close that one.
We're going to go with Mr. Matthew Palumbo from Audio Control. Have a seat, sir. And then after that, I'm going to talk to Chris, because I so hard getting Chris Cook pinned down, but we're going to find him to close up the show. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Not bad. How are you?
Awesome to meet you in person. By the way, this guy's a beast of a dude. Like, I had no idea he was this size. He's a beast of a dude. Audio Control. I walked over to the Audio Control booth / amp booth, and I'm like, wow, I've never seen the entire catalog on one panel before.
And that's not even all of it.
But it feels like a lot.
I call it the greatest hits.
You know, I hate, and correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of people, they think of audio control. They're still
Yep.
thinking epicenter.
Yep.
They're thinking LC2I.
Yep.
Maybe an amplifier.
Hopefully.
I mean,
Yeah.
we work very hard to try to get that. We try to, get that message out.
Yep.
But when and you're right. I just realized the standalone DSPs aren't even on that board. Right?
There's one of them.
What? Okay.
Yeah. There's like one item from each category is kind of what we try to do.
It is a large offering. So
Yeah.
from a dealer perspective, know that if you're looking in the market for an amplifier / integration / DSP, partner,
Yep.
audio control should be on your list.
Absolutely.
Let's back up. So my first K-Fest, I
Okay.
think everybody already knows this.
Yeah.
It's been fun saying hi, meeting people in person.
Yep.
What has your experience been? You've been to all these shows. You've been to them for a while now.
Yeah.
How's 2023 rolling out based on what you've seen?
This has been great. I mean, Las Vegas Knowledgefest last year was a lot of fun. It was one of the bigger shows, I feel like, where it felt like everybody was there, kind of, But this one feels bigger, feels a little bit busier. The show floor was super busy yesterday, which was great. And the structure is good. Like, when the training times kind of ended yesterday, it's like the floodgates opened, the show floor was packed. And next thing you know, I'm like, man, it kind of slowed down. I look at my watch, I'm like, oh, that's because it's after close. It's 7:40 already. And I'm
that's
still,
the reason
still
why.
talking to a
That's the
dealer,
reason why.
So,
All right.
which is good though,
So you mentioned trainings. I know
Yeah.
from an Amp Global perspective, obviously, I talked to Jeff early. He had
Yeah.
some pack training. You had some audio control training. Then you have like this combo training. What's that all about?
Yeah, that one's really cool. That's one of my favorite ones to do. Jeff and I co-host that, and it's pack and AC together. Okay, and so it's it just kind of shows the relationship between why amp and AC made such a good fit in the first place, and this kind of continues that idea. And it really shows dealers, like, if you're an amp dealer and you're doing audio control, you're doing pack, you're doing Stinger, maybe Echo Master 2, but at this point, if you've got pack, Stinger, and AC, there's really nothing you can't do. Like,
From an integration standpoint.
yeah, like we show in that training that, okay, if you're just an audio control dealer, that's great, but you're only have half the picture. If you're just a pack dealer, same thing.
Same thing.
And so it's like, hey, look, yes, you could sell an LOC and an amp and some wiring, or you've got a pack T harness, a Stinger bracket.
Oh, wait a
to mount
minute.
the
Hold on a
amplifier.
second. This is refreshing my memory. We did a little teaser on that type of scenario whereby you presented relevant vehicles that,
Yes.
your
Yes.
tech your tech center is actually getting actual calls for right now.
Yeah.
And then you presented different solutions based on pack and audio control, either or together.
Yeah, and that's exactly
Gotcha.
what this is it's us going, hey, here are like 7, maybe 5 to 7 really popular vehicles, and ones that we know you guys are all having trouble in the maze with.
We know because you're calling us.
Yes, you're calling us. And I mean, we're asking in these trainings, like, hey, how many of you have done, a 2022 Silverado with blah, blah, blah system? And you can see only 5 hands go up, and the class had 72 attendees.
Wow,
And
72.
we're going,
really good.
so what are the rest of you doing? And most of them are going, oh, we turn those away. Or,
we don't even do those.
Or we just add bass to those, or
Uh-huh.
whatever. And it's like, why, guys? We have ways for you to do this.
Mhm.
And so what we do with the vehicle like that is we go, okay, if you're just adding bass, you need this piece, this piece, this piece. If you're doing a full system, you need this, this, this. If you want to do it with DSP, this, this, this. And it's everything from a plug-and-play T-harness to a bracket to the amplifier.
Almost
Like, to the point of plug-and-play.
so dual purpose, right? Great
Yeah.
to educate the dealer on that.
Yes.
But then the dealer can take that and explain to the customer,
Totally.
what's involved.
Right.
Because it's all about education.
Right.
The customer has no idea.
Yeah.
He just wants a better sound
Yeah.
system.
And
Yeah.
the big takeaway from a lot of it too is, like, even in a brand new car like that, you don't have to cut anything if you're using the right parts. And a lot of people are concerned with that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
take the guesswork out of it.
All right. I see you brought a little bit of hardware to show up. What is
I
that
did.
all about?
Yeah, we've
Bring it
talked about a couple of these pieces before, but we've never really had samples here in the building to show. So a piece that we've never made before that's new is the LC 5i Pro.
Mhm.
The 5i Pro is kind of a slot between the 2i Pro
Keep going.
and the 7i or 6i, I should say. And so this is a pre-pro sample, so it's not perfect, but it's been traveled around. It's a little scratched up, but anyhow,
It's kind of like me. Traveled
it's
around.
got a
and
few
little
miles
scratch
on her,
mark
huh?
for Miles. Yeah, absolutely.
So with this one, what's cool is it's 4-channel in, 6-channel out. So we call it a 5i Pro. And Audio Control's never done a 4-channel LOC. We've only ever done 2 or 6 or more. And so this is hey, we're putting a 5-channel amp in this car. It's just got front and rear outputs. We need something that does summing, something with built-in load generation, maybe Accubase. This has all that built in.
Everything with audio control going forward that has the word Pro in the name comes with the bass knob, the ACR1. So you can know anything Pro is going to have built-in LGDs, comes with the bass knob. All your switching is exposed now too. So any of you out there that are watching this and have maybe had to take the top cover plate off of an audio control product, you won't have to do that anymore with these. This switching is right there on top.
Sweet.
So that's a new piece. We've never done a 5i before. For a lot of dealers, this is going to be go-to instead of a 6i.
This is the stock.
That's the one to stock.
And I'll say this now that I'm finally touchy-feeling this.
Mhm.
So I've been the biggest creep at this show because I'll just walk up the boards and I'm like, doing
Yeah, because you've
weird.
just seen PowerPoints of all of them.
Yes,
and
so now I'm actually,
virtual representations.
I don't have another word other than fingering the product to know what it feels like.
Ben's been
inside.
fingering product all weekend.
But it's been fantastic. This is worth showing. Like if you can integrate that into the display part of your install, it's really nice. I have to give that.
It's a pretty piece. So then on the other side of that is, we took the 2i and came out with the 2i Pro, right? Took everything that's great about the 2i and come out with the 2i Pro. So now it's time to do that with the other pieces in the line. So the 7i Pro is kind of that same idea. We took the 7i, took everything that's great about it, and then expanded on it and make a Pro version of it. So the Pro, again, comes with the ACR1 knob, but now you've got a 6-channel in, 6-channel out, LOC, still handles the 40 volts of high-level input, still gives you a nice, hot, clean RCA signal out. And then what's great is it has the built-in LGDs, and they're built in on every channel. So it's not one switch for all the inputs. And we get questions on that a little bit. I'll talk about that in a second. But you have all your signal summing exposed. You have a new turn-on mode for dealing with new vehicles. AccuBase is built in. The maximized lights on this will help to set it up. Like all the good stuff that you love in a 2i Pro is now in the 7i.
Honestly, it's got everything you need. I don't have any questions for it because I was gonna ask. Does it have AccuBase? Yup. LGDs? Yup. I mean, it's got it. Yup.
It does. I mean, one of my favorite things too is in a lot of these cars, like you can only find 2 channels of full range, clean signal that's usable, but you're putting in a 4-channel in a mono or a 5-channel amp. Well, great. If you can give me 2 channels of input, I can still give you 6 channels of output.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Bam.
And you don't have to use jumpers or Y adapters.
Yeah, there's no pins to pull.
No. And you don't even have to loop speaker wire from channel to
There
channel.
are manual potentiometers in here, though. I don't know if you can see that, but yes, screwdriver required in there. But LEDs to go with.
Yes. And actually, the finished version has much nicer caps on this, so they're a little closer to the surface. But so the LGDs on this too are kind of cool. Like a lot of other competitive brands that have come out with products kind of like this that are trying to break into that market will use a single LGD pot or switch for the entire input section. And I think a lot of folks think that that's maybe, I don't know, easier, faster, cleaner, whatever. But what they're not understanding is that there are vehicles out there where, maybe part of the car is amplified and part of it is deck power. So you may need 2 different impedances for that.
I suppose.
Mini Cooper is one.
I didn't even know that.
I did a Mini Cooper.
Just learned this for the first time.
Like for my father-in-law a couple years ago.
So some factory vehicles have. Oh, no, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes
BMW
sense.
does it too.
Yes, you're right.
Four small speakers driven off the deck, a little tiny amp that just drives the underseat woofers.
Right.
Now you need 2 different impedances to do that right. So if you don't have separate LGDs for every input, you wouldn't be able to properly do that.
To the rescue.
Yeah, 7i Pro, 5i Pro. Those should be shipping here in the next couple months.
So you saved an audio control hat for me, right?
Of course.
All right, I'll come by and get that.
And then we have a training later today showing off some new product that I've never talked about or shown before.
Can we talk about that now or
no? I'm not even previewing it to anybody. They have to come to the training tonight.
You will be on CMA about it though, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's an exciting one.
There we go. All right, sounds good. Take care, Matt.
All right,
I'll
thank
see
you.
over there.
All right, have a good one.
Let's get Mr. President back here. We're gonna lock this out. Close her down. Got a big show tonight. Mr. Cook.
Big show.
Well, yeah, there's a big show happening tonight.
Man, I've been listening to some of these interviews. Oh, the Pimp My Ride guys.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was totally awesome.
You get to ask all those questions.
I did. It was like a kid. You see that, right?
Yeah, and at 10:30 Sunday morning.
Yeah.
We're gonna answer a lot of those questions for our big group.
That's it.
We're gonna have actual pictures of the builds. We're gonna have outtakes that have never been shown on TV.
Beauty. So
and some that could never be showed on TV.
Chris, you've got to be happy with the turnout of the show. I know the feedback has been very positive. You really can't ask for more from a show at this time.
Yeah, and at MEA, we're not interested in the accolades. We're interested in all of the vendors going home, writing orders, feeling good about the event. All the retailers going home, feeling like they got a good deal, they had a good time, they learned, They learn from their manufacturers. They learn from their peers. And you know what? That's 72 hours of networking time if they don't sleep. Is the beauty of the entire event.
Yeah, sleep has been something that's a little been lacking this weekend for sure for me.
It has.
It's been busy. It's been busy for sure. Final takeaway from the show.
Well, final takeaway from the show. Like I said, this is the last day of the show, and you need to make the most of the last day. Take some time, go out and thank each one of the vendors. If you're here at the event, thank each one of the vendors. If you're not here at the event, thank the vendors for supporting the industry and supporting you, and then get out of your shop and get to one of the Knowledgefest events, because we're all about making you a better retailer and you making us a better association. This is your association, not ours. Mobile electronics is an industry, and the association is MEA, and we're here to help you grow your business.
Where do they go find out more information about the upcoming events?
The upcoming events you can find at knowledgefest.com. If you want to look at what's going on for this event specifically, you can go to kfest.me. And if you're interested in the association, it's mobile-electronics.com.
All this is easily Googleable, and I'm about to close this out with a very important link. I'm going to ask my director to go ahead and put up our little image here. Tonight, it goes down, Chris. You put up your suit, you put on your suit, you're going to get on stage.
Well, you better believe it.
And we're giving away some awards.
You better believe it.
Oh,
no, we're not giving away awards.
We're not.
We're handing the people that have earned them.
There we go.
From their achievements.
There we go. Achievements will be recognized.
Others in the industry give away awards. We are celebrating achievement.
Achievements will be recognized. It's going to be on our Facebook page, the link. You saw it up there. 7 p.m. Tune in. And yeah, we're gonna
be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
We're gonna have a blast.
Chris, I want to thank you for this opportunity for CMA to be part of this and be
Absolutely.
able to interview everybody and kind of get those people at home a little bit of what they're missing out on. But more importantly, it gives everybody a chance to kind of talk about what's new and what's happening. I think that's what
absolutely
it's all about.
right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir.
Take care, Chris. That's it, guys. I want to thank you for tuning into all this great coverage we've been providing here from Las Vegas Knowledge Fest over here at the Paris Convention Center. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I did my very best to get, extract the information that's relevant, that's new, that's hot from what all the vendors are doing. It's been a fantastic show. I look forward to doing this once again on our next stint. But for now, tune into the awards. And I'm your host, Ben Rue. Until next time, we connect.
Yo, roll it down. I am. You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?